Life's pretty sweet when your front yard is the ocean.
The idea is to really enjoy the assets of the beach.
And you wake up each day surrounded by a secluded and scenic lake.
Quite honestly, there's nothing more soothing than being around water any time of the year.
Living on the water. For most, it's just a dream. But these lucky homeowners have tricked out their waterfront homes in stylish luxury.
We have spectacular sunrises. I would never buy anything that is not on the water, period.
A European hunting lodge, a Gothic castle, and a wonder over the wetlands. Rushing rivers, tranquil lakes, and vast oceans make coming home the perfect getaway. This is Ultimate Homes, Waterfront. A house overlooking the water can be a peaceful place to live and offer some beautiful views. But it's not all calming vistas and gently crashing waves. Waterfront living isn't for the faint of heart. These homes are exposed to tsunamis, hurricanes, and tropical force winds. They're often built in remote and precarious locations. But when the last stone is in place, these homeowners are living the life they always imagined, on the waterfront. "200 miles west of Charlotte, North Carolina, the small town of Topton is the gateway to Nantahala Lake, one of the state's most scenic and popular vacation spots. The lake is surrounded by the Great Smoky Mountains National Park on one side and the Nantahala National Forest on the other. For years, auto dealer Scott Smith dreamed of building a lakefront lodge for himself, his wife Cindy, and their 4 sons.
As soon as I saw the view, I knew this is the place I wanted to build a home. There's nothing like it. It's got a lot of European influence. It's rustic, it's elegant, yet it's comfortable, and it's home.
As a young man, Scott traveled throughout Europe to some of the most picturesque places in the world and was looking to find a spot in the U.S. majestic enough for his dream home. After purchasing the perfect lakeside perch for $500,000, Scott called upon the influence of his parents, both European historians, and his own travels to design a home rich in European heritage. In 2003, Scott broke ground and laid the foundation for a 19th century style hunting lodge with sweeping lakefront views.
It's gorgeous in the summertime. It's evergreen trees, and in the fall, beautiful orange, yellows, and reds. One of the prettiest places you could find.
$4 million later, Scott opened the doors to an exclusive estate fit for Bavarian royalty. Inside, it's a trip back in time with imported furnishings from the finest old world homes. At nearly 10,000 square feet, there are 7 bedrooms, 9.5 bathrooms, and 4 stone fireplaces. The mammoth structure sits on a 2-acre lot with 170 feet of spectacular shoreline. But when Scott bought the property, it was a rugged plot of rocky wilderness. So the first step was to clear the land to create a build site.
We had 3 excavators over a 6-week period and took 7,500 truckloads of dirt out of here to actually forge the house into the side of the mountain.
To get the rustic look he was going for, he had tons of Douglas fir logs shipped in from British Columbia. But it wasn't cheap. It came with a $500,000 price tag.
This home was actually pre-built and brought here on 10 tractor trailers, disassembled, reassembled on site. It took 10 days with 2 cranes.
Throughout the home is a Black Forest European elegance, dating back to the 1800s, all inspired by a huge vintage cabinet.
We actually built this wall to accommodate this piece. This is a buffet carved by hand from Swiss and German Black Forest masters. It's just spectacular.
The 27-foot knotty white pine ceilings add space, depth, and even more character to the room.
This is our living room chandelier. It was made from sheds from elk and moose. It took 6 guys to hang the chandelier due to its weight and bulk. It weighs approximately 800 pounds.
To match the natural look of the ceilings to the floors below, he used rough-hewn beams from a shuttered 19th century mill in North Carolina.
I had them brought to Athens, Georgia, milled, sanded, and then made into oak planks and brought here and installed.
Over 1.7 million pounds of stone runs throughout the house, and it took a crew of 18 masons more than a year to install it.
Okay, we're now in the great room, and this is the centerpiece of our living room. There is 6 tons of Tennessee fieldstone in the fireplace, and it took 12 craftsmen 3 weeks to design and build it. This mantle was from a chateau from France in the 1870s.
Every kitchen fixture and appliance, from the refrigerator to a 140-year-old French cutting board, matches the antique furniture.
And as you can see the wear on it, it's got centuries of use. We wanted something that was authentic to the period, and this represents what the house is a testament of time.
This old-fashioned bar also has a rich past.
It seats up to 7 people, and all of the copper tops were hand-forged, locally hammered, along with the copper sink.
Even some of the area's indigenous woody plants were put to good use.
We had a local craftsman actually take the rhododendrons growing on the property, dry them, skin them, and build them into the staircase.
Upstairs, Scott found a way to add value to his lakeside investment. Each of the 7 bedrooms has an expansive view of Lake Nantahala.
This is our official mascot for Nantahala Lake. It's a solid bronze of a Cherokee Indian, and it welcomes all of our neighbors to our lodge.
And one octagonal guest bedroom has a spectacular added surprise.
It's got a 100-foot waterfall just outside the window, and at night you can open the windows and listen to cascading water.
The master bedroom features a lush mix of metal, wood, and marble, like this 300-pound soaking tub from South America.
It's a hand-hammered copper tub, and we actually had to hoist it over the balcony to get it into the master suite.
The vanity is a 19th century side buffet with stone sinks and copper accents. And all the marble inside the shower is naturally honed, hand-cut, and chiseled. This luxurious hunting lodge is like no other on Lake Nantahala, the ultimate waterfront retreat for Scott and his family.
We're extremely proud of what we've accomplished and what we built, and it's going to last for generations. The house is one of my life accomplishments. It was something that I dreamt of. I conceptualized everything in it. We put it together, my family and I, and made it come true.
"250 miles northwest of Detroit is the quiet lakeside town of Traverse City, Michigan. John and Kim Wagner came here in 2001 looking to build a waterfront home on the shores of Long Lake.
Initially, we decided that it was such a gorgeous area that it would be great to have just a little cabin up here, just to get out of the heat of Washington, D.C. About 6 weeks later, we were back in Washington, D.C., and we just felt like we needed to change.
The couple packed up their belongings and headed for the lake. Although they were up for the adventure, they weren't sure if they were in over their heads.
We had never built a house from the ground up. We'd renovated our house in Washington just to accommodate all the kids. But I'd look at these dimensions and I'd go, oh my God, that's not big enough. Or that room, that'll never work.
In the end, they created a 9,000 square foot glass, stone, and timber framed lake house worth over $2 million. It has 7 bedrooms and 6.5 bathrooms. Surprisingly, it was the location itself that presented the most difficult aspect of construction.
There were 2 buildable sites, one where we now have our garage, and about 350 feet away where we have our house. In between the garage and the house is wetlands.
To connect the 2 areas, they came up with this custom-designed bridge.
The most challenging part in building this house was getting access from over the wetlands.
State law protects the wetlands, so they couldn't connect the two areas with a road.
This used to be a cove from the lake that came in, and when the organic materials, the leaves filled in, it kept piling up over centuries, and now we have this wetlands. It's a very soft, mushy, you walk through it.
The key was to walk over it, so they came up with this custom-designed bridge, the longest of its kind in Michigan.
This is our bridge that leads from the garage to our house. It's approximately the length of a football field, 340 feet, and it had to be built so that we could get over the wetlands from the garage to our home.
We finally get to the front door of the house, which you can't see when you're at the other end of the bridge, so it kind of keeps you wondering, what is at the other end of this bridge?
In 2001, John and Kim Wagner set out to build their waterfront dream home on Long Lake in Traverse City, Michigan. They built both wings in the shape of an L to get lake views from all sides.
There's a slew of windows that go from one end of the house. It's about 9,000 square feet. There's 80 windows along the exterior that overlook the lake.
Inside, this fire screen is a whimsical nod to the life on the water.
This is our great room. It's approximately 30 by 25. We also have a ceiling that's shaped like the bottom of a boat. It's about 24 feet up in the air. It gives some shape to the interior rather than being a square box. It gives it some definition.
The lake provides some amazing scenery, but sometimes the view comes with vicious 60-mile-an-hour winds.
We have to use triple pane hurricane windows because there's nothing to shield us from the wind. When the wind comes from the northwest or across the lake, there's nothing to stop that wind. We get tremendous storms.
The windows have steel frames for extra support, but they're creatively disguised.
We have steel beams that go across. They're encased in maple wood.
They also designed a 24-foot-high fireplace made of stones from back east.
It's made of Maryland bluestone. It came out of Potomac, Maryland. We had it trucked in because it's just a beautiful stone and very unusual, and you just don't find that type of rock here in Michigan.
The concrete stained floors proved to be more complicated.
They had to be poured in different batches because the square footage in this house is so enormous that they couldn't do in one pour. We brought in a gentleman that knew how to stain concrete floors, and he was able to pretty much get the color we're looking for. We try to get that leather, brown, kind of that warm to kind of go with the overall tone of the house.
Under the floor, a special system to help combat Michigan's frigid temperatures.
Embedded in the concrete floors are pipes that run back and forth throughout the entire house. We can maintain a comfortable temperature, walk around in our bare feet. It's just wonderful on those cold winter nights.
The dining room is so big, they had to come up with something to make mealtimes feel cozier.
So what we did is we dropped the ceiling. We have lights embedded in the open area of this architectural element. It creates a wonderful effect for evening dinners.
Specific features in the kitchen help with storage and cleaning.
All of our cabinetry, which I love, goes all the way up to the ceiling, just so that we didn't waste any space and I didn't end up having ledges that I had to dust all the time. We had the wood paneling put on that matches our cabinetry, just so that it would all look integrated.
On display in the master bathroom are a few pieces of stained glass from their former DC home.
And we love them so much that we wanted to use them here in Michigan. And they're really gorgeous on this wall because this gets the east light. So in the morning, you'll see the light come in and reflect the different colors.
Surrounded by stunning scenery, John and Kim love taking in all that Long Lake has to offer.
My favorite part of living in this house is definitely the water. I love being out on the lake in the summer, tubing, swimming, hanging out with friends. It's a great place to be.
I love this house. I've never been in a location or a house where I feel that balance between everything in life.
It also seems that John and Kim's friends like the waterfront life as well.
It's like the inn on the lake. We have guests after guests after guests. A typical day can be boating, going out on the lake, having a picnic out on the lake, watching a sunset.
I knew that this would be our forever house. Hopefully this is a house that will stay in the family for years and years.
People flock to the island of Grassy Key in Marathon, Florida for a relaxing getaway in paradise. When architect Marian Spinrad and her husband Bernard were looking for a place to build their beach house, they first had to find the right beach.
He laid out a map with all the beaches in the Keys, and we drove to each one, seeing what was for sale and what was affordable. At the end of the process, actually, when we were almost giving up, we drove by and we saw the for sale sign, and in we went, and here we are.
They found the right beach, and in 2001, bought their dream lot for $137,000. Then, they started designing their home.
We wanted to do something different than the typical Keys house. That was our dream, to be on the beach, to be able to walk on the sand, be in shorts, and enjoy the weather.
The 6,300 square foot modern coral and stone-clad minimalist home has 5 bedrooms, 6.5 bathrooms, an infinity swimming pool, and indoor and outdoor kitchens. All for just over $6 million. Marian designed the house and served as the general contractor.
This was to be our last house that we would be designing, and we wanted to be really what we have always dreamt to be our creation, to have something that was unique.
To get the waterfront home they really wanted, the couple knocked down the existing one and decided to build 2 side by side in its place. One to live in and one to use as a luxury rental. Both have maximum beach views and ocean breezes.
We wanted to make use of all the nature and integrate it with the design of the house and have it flow into the house. That's the reason we built the house as close to the ocean as the municipal codes would allow.
Living this close to the water means you have to prepare for hurricane season. They elevated the living spaces to avoid the storm surge. But building this high means the house needs a sturdy foundation. In a place that averages 46 inches of rain every year, it's nearly impossible to find a dry enough day to pour it.
When we're doing the pours, one of the most difficult parts was trying to figure out the rain. When it was going to rain, what time it was going to rain, because we couldn't pour if it was going to rain.
Marian and Bernard Spinrad built the beach house of their dreams on Grassy Key Island in Marathon, Florida. The place averages nearly 4 feet of rain every year, so finding dry days to pour a 6,300 square foot concrete foundation was tricky. Cement truck coordination became a 24/7 job.
So many mornings I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning, looking at the weather report, talking to the concrete, people that were coming over, whether they should come or not come, telling everybody in sight, stand by, we got to figure this one out.
The couple also needed to figure out how to get marine views from every room in the house. So they came up with an X-shaped layout and window-filled walls. They call it mariposa, which means butterfly in Spanish.
The basic emphasis of the house is to make the most of the environment around it, to integrate the house as much as possible with the exterior, so keep it as sort of like a seamless flow from the inside to the outside.
Now we're in the downstairs terrace, which is actually most of our living area and where we do most of our entertaining. We have a full kitchen here, which has everything you need to prepare a meal and for people to enjoy and have a drink. The general idea is to really enjoy the assets of the beach. Everything here is designed to and make people comfortable in the environment that they're in. It's just a very casual house.
On rainy days, Marian and Bernard retreat to their indoor kitchen, which continues the minimalist and practical theme of the house.
The kitchen is designed by areas. There's a wet area, there's a preparation area, there's an actual cooking area, the cleaning area, and the baking area. And all the storage facilities are specifically adjacent to where the areas are. The kitchen is designed specifically to continue the design of the rest of the house, which is the openness, the airiness, and the view of the water. And as such, the mirror in the rear reflects the water that you see in the front.
Each one of these concrete steps is wrapped in hand-stitched custom-dyed leather, and they give the illusion of being suspended by steel wires.
We have the steps, which are the ones that are embedded in a solid 8-inch concrete wall with an incredible amount of structural steel, and which was a difficult pour because as we were pouring, each step had to be placed at the right angle and the right measurements. It was quite an arduous process.
As we were doing the pour, we had to come in and install every single steel piece independently at the right height and at the right angle.
Follow the steps up, and the innovation continues in the master bedroom.
I came up with the idea of sort of a modified sliding door, which actually hangs from a track in the ceiling, and then you open it or close it as your privacy desires go.
In keeping with the design of the house, we have, again, the view from the bedroom towards the ocean. We have intentionally not put any window covers on so that we can wake up with the sun.
All the storage spaces are expertly concealed in the master bathroom, including the doors.
The idea behind this was to keep the continuity of the minimalist idea so you would have a straight flow on your line of sight.
The outside pool bathroom door maintains the same clean lines that run throughout the house. To build the 600-pound door, they hinged a section of the outside wall.
As you can see, it has a rather unusual door. It's clad both on the inside in marble and on the outside in coral stone. It was a little tricky to install. There's a huge piece of steel on the top. There's a huge piece of steel on the bottom, and there are ball bearings floating in oil to make this whole door work with the weight that it has. One unique element of this bathroom is that the basin is filled from the top, and in order to do that, it was a little tricky with the plumbing.
They had to find a way to divert the water from the tub to the shower on the far wall through an elaborate system of pipes. It was no small feat, but worth the trouble.
I like the results.
It took 4 years to complete, but from the original idea down to the very last detail, Marion and Bernard's South Pacific-inspired beach house is a dream come true.
I'm absolutely very, very proud of it. We are very, very happy with what we have.
I'm very glad that I did it. I'm very glad that it turned out this way. I'm very proud of what I did.
Kapoho Bay is one of the most desirable communities on the eastern tip of the Big Island of Hawaii. So when Grant Balin was asked to oversee the pod-style construction of this secluded estate that sits on its own lagoon, he jumped at the opportunity.
The motivation for me was to watch it transform from what it was to what it is. It took a lot to do what you see behind me.
The $12 million, 5,000 square foot house is actually 3 individual pods: a gazebo, main house, and master suite. Each was built entirely of benkara, a tropical hardwood. There are 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 130 feet of deck overlooking the nearby ponds and lagoons. But none of it was built here. It was designed and fabricated in Bali, then sent to Kapoho in pieces. And that's the way it stayed for some time, because no one could figure out how to put it together. In Kapoho, Hawaii, a 5,000 square foot home was constructed to overlook the ocean's lush lagoons and ponds. 3 separate structures make up the pod-style dwelling, and they're all made with natural elements and benkara wood, which can withstand the wet climate of the tropics.
Each building is about 20 feet separate from the adjacent building. The reason for that is obviously privacy, and it affords a 130-foot deck connecting all of it for viewing the property.
The house was designed and fabricated by a company in Bali, and Grant was more than happy to oversee the construction in Kapoho. until the whole thing arrived in pieces with nothing but a set of instructions.
It started in about 2010, took several years. The most challenging aspect was getting what went where figured out. The blueprints and instructions from the construction company who built this in Bali was almost beyond belief. The other aspect that was very difficult was getting all the building permits from the different agencies because of the oceanfront aspect.
Builders also had to make adjustments in order to comply with Hawaiian housing laws.
These pylons here are mandatory. There's a law in Hawaii, any new home has to be built 18 feet high in case there's a tsunami. Because the houses are built up on posts, there's naturally a little bit of flex. So if there's too much wind, it gives rather than resists. They withstood 80 or more mile-an-hour winds during the last hurricane. And if a wave comes, it just goes right underneath.
A deck connects each of the three buildings, but the gazebos is by far the best.
This is the main party and sitting area for the house, mostly because of the views. They are spectacular. 17 acres here. It starts all the way on the right, goes 180 degrees to the left.
Even the standalone bathroom has special features.
Lava rock walls, thatched roof. These little sculptures I've made, palm fronds and magnet eyes. It's on a cement foundation and bamboo posts around under the thatch.
But the property didn't always look this stunning. Before building began, it was covered with mangrove, a dense tangle of trees and shrubs.
The owners spent about 6 years cutting it all out with a crew and chainsaws, which opened it up for the lagoons.
The lofty master suite was the most complicated part of the house to construct. And to incorporate some local materials into it, they sourced the only rock available.
This is the first room on the property. It's an octagon. It's got lava rock walls. This is pahoihoi. Kids usually commandeer this room, get away from the folks. As you can see, this lava rock wall here is the foundation of this room. The central post and pylon is what holds up this floor.
Upstairs proved to be even more difficult to put together.
The interior took about 4 months construction with the mango walls and partition. It's built down from the main house so that there's some privacy offered. It also has its own deck area, part of the 130-foot deck. These posts, Benkara, goes up to this phenomenal ceiling here. This is a complex structure that keeps the walls from blowing out, that supports the entire roof and holds it all together.
The two-bedroom main house also has a unique ceiling and gorgeous features.
That fabric up there, it's actually a rattan that's split and woven. That goes throughout all the rooms of the house. The kitchen here has custom mango cabinets. They're beautiful. It's called Purple Heart. It's a special type of mango. Granite counters, stainless steel fixtures, nice big sub-zero refrigerator. Everything has to be stainless steel on the ocean. Rust never sleeps.
Holding everything together is a key structural feature: Z-shaped joinery.
This is the center post of the house. Holds up all these cross members. Goes up to the joists. It's a special extra strength connection. There's many of them throughout the house.
Once the luxurious pod home was complete, Grant and visitors alike could enjoy all that this ultimate waterfront property has to offer.
We have spectacular sunrises, and golden rimmed clouds and rays. We have big, beautiful tropical fish in the lagoons. We have turtles, of course, snorkeling and kayaking, and the rowboat. So there's a lot of amenities that make this a spectacular place.
85 miles east of Los Angeles, in the majestic mountains of San Bernardino National Forest, is the best-kept secret on the West Coast, Lake Arrowhead. In 2003, builder David Richardson came to this quaint paradise to create a massive lake house for one of his clients.
Lake Arrowhead is the key to this house. When you look at it from any part of the lake, it stands out like a beacon. And most people think it's a hotel. It's just a showpiece of the lake. It was really designed around the lake.
At almost 16,000 square feet, the $14 million three-story mansion has 10 bedrooms and 17 bathrooms. It's one of the largest lots on the lake, with 150 feet of shoreline.
Construction of the home began in 2003. It was a 4-year process. Over that time, the first year basically was spent doing the foundation and the main structure on the first floor. The second year was framing the house. The third year was doing the mechanical work and all of the guts of the house. And then the final year was used to do all the detail work. The biggest reason that it took as long as it did is because the sheer size. You think you're building the equivalent of 10 houses.
Size wasn't the only issue. Rain, snow, and even wildfires threatened to derail the project at every turn. Nestled in Southern California's San Bernardino National Forest, Lake Arrowhead is a prime location for a waterfront home. In 2003, builder David Richardson broke ground on a 16,000 square foot mega mansion for one of his clients. It took him 4 years to complete, and over that period of time, unpredictable weather caused some serious issues.
Normally, we're able to schedule so that we're doing the foundation and the framing in the spring and through the summer, and then by the time the winter comes, we're enclosed and we're doing the finish work at that time. We weren't able to do that. And so we had tractors removing snow, we had teams of people just shoveling the snow off of the flooring so that we could then begin framing.
All of the materials and fixtures were carefully chosen, but getting them to the site was problematic.
It's mountainous. There was countless things that had to be imported from overseas, from Canada, from back east. All of these things then have to be trucked up on these extremely small roads.
The owner wanted an open, spacious first floor, so all the rooms are connected, and some have an unobstructed view 120 feet down the length of the house. The billiards room needed a statement fireplace, so David relied on a design trick to get the look he wanted.
Looks as if it's stainless steel with rivets, but in actuality this is split stone. And then there's heat-treated rivets that we placed in here in order to give it that feel of stainless steel. And the billiards table is fantastic because this was handcrafted in New York. They brought it in, the craftsmen constructed it in New York. And then what they did is they shipped it out here. They came out here with their product and they set it here into this billiards room. This is a piece that I never actually touched. The craftsmen set it exactly the way they wanted it, and now it's finished and it's exactly the way they had designed, and it's enjoyable for the people to play on.
Even with an open concept, the architect found a way to build in some private places.
These sliding doors, these are also handcrafted. It's called cast glass, and that's how you get this beautiful texture as well as the design.
No run-of-the-mill cabinets would do for this extraordinary kitchen. David had to go overseas to find the right craftsman for the job.
The cabinet maker is a master carpenter out of Germany, and you can see all this is hand inlaid with dark woods and then the lighter woods, all hand inlaid in order to give you that beauty and that contrast.
To help manage a high-tech house of the future is a sophisticated touchscreen computer system.
This could operate anything in this house. And this is such an enormous house. You need something like this in order to be able to control it.
The house is so advanced, it comes with a full set of instructions.
You know how you'd get a car and you'd have an owner's manual for a car? Well, this is the owner's manual for this house. This book tells you everything that you need to know about this house.
So many rooms, so many levels. Luckily, there's a swanky elevator that travels from the basement to the top floor. On the second floor, it opens onto the master bedroom, a spacious, elegant space with soaring ceilings and a centerpiece that took nearly a month to perfect.
When you come in here, the first thing that strikes you is the fireplace. The metal piece has over 150 hours of craftsmanship in it, and you'll see that this has grain to it, exactly the same as wood would have grain. And you have to rub this with steel wool all in one continuous direction in order to give it that grain.
In a traditional home, most high ceilings are only on the top floor, but this mansion also has them on the lower levels.
You can look up and see the ceiling. There's still a whole nother floor above us. We were able to create a vaulted ceiling in this room by raising the floor above it, and then we cut this vaulted ceiling into the living room. Out of the master bedroom and into the his and hers bathroom. If we look up, we'll see the ceiling. That arched view of the blue pearly ceiling is made to emulate a wave. It is nearly impossible to construct something in that arch-like shape to perfectly look like a cylinder. But what we did is one of the guys working for us had been a skateboarder, and he used the same technology he uses in order to construct a skateboard ramp. We used the inverse version of that in order to construct that ceiling there.
The master bathroom has a 180-degree view of Lake Arrowhead, which they didn't want to block with a bulky vanity mirror.
If you hit this button, up will come a vanity so that you have that mirror in order to be able to do your makeup, in order to be able to get ready in the morning. All of the showers in this home are steam showers. With the hit of a button, this whole room will fill with steam. We have fiber optic lights. You can have your blue water coming down on you, green water coming down on you.
One of the most impressive places in the house is the 6,200 square foot garage with enough space for 18 cars. And to turn around inside,
as you come in, you could park your car on this turntable here. Right in front of the elevator, you could unload your car, get your groceries upstairs, and then with the hit of a button, the car would then turn around 180 degrees, and as that car turns around the 180 degrees, you then can drive straight back out the garage.
a lavish lakeside mansion with electronic features, vaulted ceilings, and a gargantuan garage. David's creation is the ultimate waterfront home.
I know that I will never touch anything of this magnitude again. I'm very, very proud of having participated in it. It's unsurpassed in its size and its quality and its beauty. I enjoyed every minute of it.
The pristine waters of the Damon Upper Reservoir, set in the mountains of southern New Hampshire, caught the eye of contractor John Hunt and his wife Linda. He was looking to build an enormous estate to rival Cornelius Vanderbilt's Biltmore Estate in North Carolina. They bought 500 acres at the edge of the reservoir in hopes of building a luxurious Gothic castle overlooking the water. In fact, they liked the reservoir so much, they ultimately bought it, as well as the 4 surrounding ponds. The high hillsides around the water provided the ideal setting and the perfect view.
Well, I've always grew up with a castle motif in my life. Certainly when I traveled in Europe, I always wanted to go see castles. But our castle is kind of unique in the sense that it is homey. It's not a scary, cold place. It's designed to be user-friendly and inviting and comfortable to be in.
Overlooking 500 acres, the $1.3 million, 11,000 square foot stone castle has 8 bedrooms and 5.5 bathrooms.
One of the questions that most people ask us is, where's the moat? We don't have one, but we do have a dragon.
When I first purchased the land, it was back in the early 80s. What attracted me most about it was the water, access to water.
And a childhood passion helped determine the look of the place.
So once I had kind of laid out my design, I wanted to see what it looked like. And the best way for me to do something was to use a material that I knew as a kid, and I built the model.
Building a remote mega fortress on the water was hard enough, but starting in the middle of a harsh New England winter was even worse. The conditions affected both the schedule and budget, something the Hunts weren't prepared for. In Rindge, New Hampshire, the seclusion and sparkling water of the Damon Upper Reservoir provided the perfect location for John and Linda Hunt to build their dream castle. But severe winter weather took a toll on both time and money.
There were plenty of times while during the construction that I thought I really got in over my head. When the cost overruns started to occur, it's very scary. But the finished project's a pretty cool thing.
The turreted fortress is so big, it required extra reinforcement to support and protect it. 4 inches of granite cover a modern wood and steel frame, from the ground all the way to the roof. Continuing the ancient Gothic motif inside the chateau was also important to the Hunts.
We did that by using stone walls here in the inside. The railings are cast iron, and also we have a knight. So one of the great things about owning a castle is that your family can give you gargoyles, which you always need to keep away the demons.
Or he can escape them in his very own man sanctuary.
We're in the bar, the Millennium Bar, the ultimate man cave. I don't have too many hobbies, but one I do have is drinking ale. Not to be confused with beer, ale. And this is my collection, even complete with some with Gothic themes. It's one of my favorite things to do is when I see castles in Ireland and Europe, is to go to the bar. It's always down in the basement. You name it, we got games to play.
The more elegant rooms are upstairs, like the Grand Dining Hall, which has exquisite features fit for royalty.
If you look around, you'll see that we've done it in a Wedgwood design. And we've also done a ceiling in a beautiful sunset design with lighting.
There are plenty of bedrooms for everyone in the family.
Every bedroom on the second floor does have a balcony. The kids' bedrooms, their balconies can connect so they can run around circles. But when they really get noisy and they need their playroom, they have their own secret door right through here. We're coming into the ballroom. This is a big open space designed so the kids can do all kinds of more bigger activities like play football or hockey. Can't tell you how many times we had to paint the ceiling because of the football marks on the ceiling.
The couple also wanted a modern way to regulate the temperature inside. Using the sun's natural heat did the trick.
The living room is a classic solar room. It doesn't look that way, but it is. We start out with the floor. We have a slate floor, and in this slate floor is 4 inches of poured concrete. That creates a thermal mass to hold the sun. But most importantly is that we do have the windows, and on top of them is a motorized window treatment that holds that heat in at night. What we do is we turn this down, and we'll allow the window treatment to lower itself. This will occur when the sun sets. And also when the sun rises, it'll go back up. The window treatment is totally automatic to the sun. This material we have here is we have a fabric that makes it look nice for the ladies. And then we have the window treatment itself. And the window treatment itself is 3 layers of mylar, designed so that when the window treatment is down, it will fill up with air and create an R factor of over 12.
While passive solar can help with heating efficiency, for a home this size, there is a more castle traditional heating source.
Castles has to have other alternative heating systems. We have 2 wood boilers. We have this chip tech system. So these wood chips drop into this box. They'll auger them into the firebox. And this is what heats the castle.
It's the perfect thing for making the rest of the castle cozy. Like the master bedroom suite, which is also decked out in medieval design.
This bed is custom made. It's built to stay, not gonna be moved. The windows, we were able to buy in New York City, but most important is the tapestry. This is a 13th century tapestry. It was a family heirloom. Best of all, it has a castle in it. So the master bathroom has all the accoutrements that a big master bathroom should have. The shower does have about 6 shower heads. But most important is this is one of the entrances to the secret tower. Let me show you. Looks like a closet. Looks like coats. But then we open up another door that takes us out into the tower itself.
Hidden passageways are one of the perks of castle life, but they do have their drawbacks.
The only piece about it that's difficult is finding people in the castle. It's very easy to get lost. It's very easy to hide.
Especially once you get up on the roof.
So up on the roof level, we have all 4 towers. We've got the 2 towers with the secret hiding places. We have the elevator tower, with the stairways that go all the way around it, and then we go to my favorite tower, the tallest tower of 65 feet.
The main turret tower offers a 360-degree view of the surrounding woods, lakes, and mountains.
The 65-foot tower had to be the secret tower, so that each door to that tower would have to be hidden so you can get into the tower, but without theoretically being seen.
So up here, this is where I really feel that I'm the king of my castle.
With stone walls, secret passageways, and towering turrets, John and Linda have built the ultimate medieval waterfront castle.
I love living here because it's so comfortable, it's warm, plenty of space, and it's just kind of unique. Building a castle or building any home, when you're done and you have accomplishment and you have to look back and say, this is mine, I did this. I am very proud of my house.
Whether it's a castle high atop a man-made lake, a Hawaiian house on the edge of a lagoon, or a mansion on the Florida Keys, all the build challenges facing these homeowners seem worth it to create their ultimate dream of a life by the water.